About recently, you've been in the public about the family incident. I don't know what you want to talk about and what you can't talk about. What exactly happened there?
Got teenagers, a 17-year-old that's got a lot of testosterone in his body, and he's been doing UFC, and he told all his friends that he could beat me. He's an excellent athlete. I mean, the guy, he won 20 straight games when we went to the Nationals in 2007. He's being courted by Rollins College for a golf scholarship, and he came in at 4 o'clock in the morning with a guy that he's not supposed to be with. Had my 14-year-old son with him. He's with a guy that a kid that I've only known for a couple of weeks that lives in an apartment, Alex. And they're all, teenagers are teenagers. We were all bad, but I never hit my sons, and everybody knows that. I didn't have a pink spot on my knuckles. My oldest son, after I told him, I was hard on him, I'll tell you that. When he came in at 4 o'clock in the morning because they put stuff under their sheets, I thought they were there. They put the stuffed animals and all that, and all of a sudden the door's pushing in, and the kids are there. They come in, and I went right off on Brett. Man, this is the third time. You're not going to see daylight for 7 days. Other than taking the trash out, and you're not going to have a computer. You're not going to have a cell phone for a week. You cannot drive for a week. Yeah, I was going on, and all of a sudden, boom! Something hits me in the face. So
Wow.
My son hit me, and they went outside, finally came back in. My younger son called 911. You can listen to it on the YouTube or whatever. He said, my brother went crazy, and I get in the room, the 18-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 14-year-old, and my 17-year-old. They're all good, big, strong kids. And I knew that when I came back into the room and he wouldn't let me in the door, that if I did get in there, he was going to try to hit me. So somebody opened the door, and sure enough, he swung at me. I put him in an arm bar, took him down, and he started screaming, Dad, you're breaking my arm, you're breaking my arm. I said, I'm not breaking your arm, but you got to calm down, you got to calm down. And he didn't calm down, and all of a sudden somebody kicked me in the ribs. Really, really hard. And then my head started getting beat on. I started getting stomped on. I put my arms up to block me. I get black, blue, just knots all over. They weren't black and blue until the next day. And the police took pictures of me, and they asked me if I wanted my son arrested. And I said, no, I don't want my son arrested. And we'll take care of it. And they were there for over an hour after they took the pictures of me, and all of a sudden they said, Brian, we have to arrest somebody. You don't want your son arrested. We got to arrest you. So I went downtown, and it was a humbling experience. But there was 4 different stories by the kids. It was all, they should have never arrested me in the first place. It should have been called a domestic disturbance. They should have made me go by Florida statute to away from the house for 24 hours for a cool down period. And that's it. If there's any other problems, of course my wife would have called if there was any if I touched one of my kids. She'd be the first one to go ballistic, and she knows I wouldn't do that. But the state attorney dropped it 100%. It'll be expunged. So once an expungement's done, then you have the right, according to law, to say that you've never been arrested.
As far as the coverage that you guys got, were you surprised about the coverage? And do you feel that you were treated unfairly, or actually portrayed unfairly?
Well, St. Pete Times is probably the most liberal paper in the United States of America, and they treated me unfairly one time. But other than that, all the Gail Sarins from NBC, Channel 8, she was awesome. The Tampa Tribune, they were great. Everybody was good. They understood. They saw the forest through the trees. You don't stand there all beat up and look at those guys, and they don't have a mark on them, and you get charged with child abuse. Something's wrong with that. But I guess if somebody had to go, I wouldn't trade it. I still wouldn't send my 17-year-old to jail.
Everything's cool now?
Oh yeah, I couldn't see my kids for like 8 days, and tremendous attorney George Lorenzo went and sat down with the state attorney and laid it out, and they dropped everything immediately and said, just go be with your kids. And I drove down to the Keys, met him, and Brett and I stayed an extra day, came home together, and every day he sees me, you know, he hugs me, he kisses me, he says, yeah, I love you, Dad. I think it was probably one of the best things that could have happened. I'm sorry it did happen like that, but it was like, you know, when I took dip of Copenhagen, when I told my grandfather I was 10 and a half years old while I was baling hay in Arkansas down in that hot field. And I said, Grandpa, I'm 10 and a half. It's time I had a dip of that Copenhagen. He finally did after I started begging him since I was 9 years old, 8 years old. And I have never been so sick in my life, and I've never put a tobacco product anywhere near me. So if you want to cure somebody of ever smoking, give your kid a pinch of tobacco.